What is up, everybody? How's it going? We got another night of Legacy Showdown matches. This is week 2, day 4. We got some bangers. I am a Refresh. Sitting next to me virtually is my beautiful friend Magni. How you doing?
Good, I'm good. I'm ready to see some hopefully good Call of Duty action tonight. Maybe some Game 5s, maybe a round 11 or 2. I want to see it get mixy.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it get mixy. I felt like last night was pretty fast. Well, we had a 3-1 and a 3-2. But yeah, so let's see how tonight goes. I think tonight will be pretty good. Our first match that we're going to be watching is the newly formed Chicago team, Chicago Unity versus Phoenix Elation. Yeah, Vancouver missing out on their spot. Chicago taking over. I like the new branding. I love the red. We'll see how they do. The first name under this banner.
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on what kind of pieces are picked up after Vancouver vacated their spot and what Chicago could really do with that spot to see. I mean, it's kind of a tough opponent. I know Phoenix hasn't looked the best, but Hybrid is one of those players that he's just, you got to trust that he's going to go off.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map count as well. Maps are already set in stone. We have a lot of Den tonight. Raid for map number 2, and then back over the Den for the Overload. Hardpoint, of course, on Scar. We always see, this is the 2 hardpoint maps that we see in this league. Those will be the 2 hardpoint maps that we play tonight. But then at the very end of the series, we see a Search and Destroy on Colossus, which is an interesting pick in my eyes. I don't think we've watched it in the league yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's been in the league at all. It's a very one-sided pick, really, because it's just so hard to bang out B because the defense gets there instantly off spawn. And so it's kind of almost like the same mentality like Vault, where it's just like bang A, bang A, bang A, bang A. And that's really all the offense can do, because if you don't get mid control and you try to push through left side, it's just going to make it really hard because you're going to be facing 3 lanes of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I do you like the map? Do you think with some of the new maps that we've been added in this last Season 1 Reloaded, do you think you could see some of these maps getting replaced here in the upcoming month or so?
I think Meltdown should be in over Colossus. You heard it here first. Meltdown's a goated map. We haven't seen it remade in a while. I don't think it's ever been remade. So I would like to see Meltdown getting into the rotation.
Yeah, I like Meltdown. I think Meltdown feels really good this year. What do you think how do you feel about Fringe?
I mean, Fringe is just one of those classic maps. It's a little bit better now because in BO6 it didn't work out too well because that train hill, it was very jetpack wall bounce dependent. Just because if not, you're just challenging straight lanes with ARs and subs. But now that there's wall bouncing and everything, it adds like a second level of being able to like shoot from up high and down low. So it makes Fringe a lot better competitively than it was last game.
Yeah, I think I agree with that a lot. Honestly, I would be kind of more a fan of them just adding maps, maybe not taking anything away and giving us a lot more options in the vetoes. I think that would also be pretty fun and exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have more maps, but eventually it's going to... A lot of teams don't use their vetoes to counter their opponents. They use it to take out their bad maps, and so it kind of makes people have to open up their map pool a little bit because you can't just veto that one map that you're not good at if there's multiple maps you're not good at.
Yeah, but we're going to be loading into the map number 1, Hardpoint on Den. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to get into this. I want to make sure the team layout is correct. Oh, a little bit of confusion. We're definitely going to have to restart this. You guys couldn't see it. I know, Magni, you couldn't see it there, but everybody loaded in on JSOC, and then it just became, everyone looked at each other, super confused. Everyone started shooting.
It was like that Spider-Man meme on steroids.
Yeah. That's a wild.
Mr. B seeks, don't blame me. He dragged me into this.
So we'll figure out who's on whose team. I know the squads that are playing tonight. We got Braid, Buckshot, Blurry, and iSpot here for Chicago. And then on the Phoenix side, you have RS, Clay, Sullivan, and Brandon. So Fun squads. I think we'll get a bang out. Both teams are 0-1, so both teams looking to get their first win. Tie up their series count. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the interesting part, right? Both these teams kind of start off a little slow in the league, but this is a really good opportunity to kind of take advantage of maybe a team being in a slump. Get that first win out of the way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where somebody's going to get a win tonight, and in my opinion, I think it's going to be Phoenix. I just think they're going to have more chemistry, more teamwork. They've been teaming for a little longer. It's not a randomly made team, but I do think Chicago is at least going to take a map or two. I think this is going to be really close.
You do think it's going to be close? I think if Chicago takes a map, I think it will probably be the Raid Search and Destroy.
I mean, I think Chicago has a chance to also take the Overload. When we saw Phoenix play last week, they weren't it wasn't too convincing. They weren't just blowing me away, and so it's one of those. It's something where if Chicago can come out and slay and kind of disrupt some setups from Phoenix, then it's going to make it to where they can play the map at their pace and kind of figure out their pacing, and hopefully, not get overextended and counter-capped every time.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to actually get some progress here made in the stream. The map is loading up again. So far, so good. Not everyone looks to appear to be on the same team. Ready to watch some Den? I really like Den. I think it's a pretty map.
It's also a bang out.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. It's a bang out with some crazy lanes.
Yeah, the map is so it's not a small map, but the gunfights are so confined with how the points are going. But opening up, we're going to be on Blurry, trying to hit a P2 flank early, trying to get those spawns for new as we see... Excuse me. I'm choking.
It's okay. Oh, no, the joke's in. Hopefully these teams don't do that on the map. But we're going to hop on board with Phoenix to kind of start us off. Phoenix trying to get a little bit of time off of this P1. Not able to do so. It's going to be pretty hotly contested. Expect that right away. But Chicago's going to be getting those P2 spawns. But Clicker up, already rotating around the side of the map. Got the Dravik in hand, looking to push towards all the way back into these P2 spawns. You're going to see that arrow of 5 and 6, Buckshot and Braid, looking for players.
Braid gets one on the rotation, and they don't read play back here in the back, and so if they don't play it carefully here, if they don't turn and get this guy out the back, they're going to spawn out. But as we say that, Chicago's just holding the first 10, 15 seconds of hill.
Yeah, there's a lot of time on over to Chicago. Chicago looking to start out strong, and as I say that, they kind of give up those P2 spawns. Ooh, except for number 8. That's going to be Blurry. Blurry is going to be in a decent position on the map. Not going to have the gun up, though. iSpot going to be the only one in contention there for a second. But as we kind of start giving Chicago some flowers, Phoenix start pulling through on this P2.
Phoenix is just out slaying right now. I mean, Sullivan's 2 and 4, but you have 2 players double positive, kind of just controlling the pace of the map, and whenever they see somebody, they just kill them. And it's making it hard for Chicago to really get any meaningful time or any meaningful rotations, because it's hard when you have somebody that's 1 in 5 on the map. You have to be able to create pressure, take lanes, watch something, and do it effectively.
Yeah, and as we're seeing right now, the more experienced team is kind of playing just like that on the map. They're definitely getting into position a little bit earlier. RS picking up a nice 2-piece now on a 5 streak with 23 seconds of time. We're going to go ahead and hop on board to them as they're trying to earn some streaks. Going to get shot from this middle tin. They're going to trade out. They're not going to be able to get the streaks. Lost on a decent opportunity there to... I mean, I think streaks are so important, especially in this game. I feel like they are a little bit harder to earn, so when you get them, I feel like they make a big presence on the map. And as of last night, there was a map that ended in streaks.
The only map that is not good for streaks is Colossus, because it's just a giant pokey curve. But as we see, Phoenix is getting rotation for new. As Chicago gets a little bit of scrap time, 50-point lead going into P4. Brandon's holding the bag. He sees two that are pushing through, and Phoenix is just kind of soaking right now while Chicago's trying to get set up, and it's two from the front.
Yeah, a bunch of big kills going on there. Brandon getting a nice kill in the back. They're doing a really good job holding this point. Phoenix, though, is going to drop the point for just a second. Chicago's going to try to come in and get some time. Two players hitting over from this jumps/red side. Is that Ice Spot? Ice Spot's going to get the pick and back out, but it's going to get cleaned up by RS. RS slaying really hot right now. Both Brandon and RS are already past double digits. Brandon double positive with a lot of time in the hill as well. We're hop on over to Sullivan. They're 7-7. Maybe a little bit slower start if you're comparing yourself to your teammates, but still looking decent on the map. Looking to take control over towards this P3 side. This is a really good spot to get angles on P1 on.
Yeah, Big Cut can just oversee kind of both headies, and it makes it where you don't get pushed from window. But as we see that, the guy Big Cut just gets ripped by Clay off hill, and it's 3 down for Phoenix, and they're just soaking a majority of this P1 time, and there's not been really any contention when P1 is normally contest heavy just because it is just out in the open.
Yeah, I feel like P1 on this map is super hard, especially because both sides have a heady on P1. So, I mean, if you can get control of that P3 side and really milk that P1, I feel like you make a lot of progress on the map. Obviously, all of your major flow of the water on the map, right, is going to come through that funnel. So, Ice Spot doing a really good job showing an example, trying to get rotated over to the other side of the map. However, it's going to be Phoenix taking control of this P2 side, or at least trying to. Blurry has an opportunity to kind of break open this window to allow his teammates to crawl in. So that 5 and 6 arrow buckshot and Braid trying to make their way across the map to help this player out. And that kill feed is pretty even, 2 and 2. Oh, but the split from couches and steps. Yeah, everything's just kind of going Phoenix's way right now on this P2.
Their guns are just hotter. Hopefully we see Chicago kind of pick it up, but as of right now, it's looking like a Phoenix blowout.
Yeah, Phoenix doing a good job right here, holding the angles, spotting everything that's coming across, jumps. Brandon gonna have the Dravik out. Gonna be looking to take advantage of somebody overstepping that angle. Still getting time though, over 100-point lead now for Phoenix as they're looking to extend that. RS picking up a big 2-piece, allowing Clay to get into the point and make some noise. Still getting time here for Phoenix. I feel like Chicago's got to start playing with a little bit of desperation here. Corrupt not able to pick up the kill with the knife, and you're going to see a big exchange here over on Dojo. Oh, Sullivan almost got that kill. That would have been wild.
Yeah, just Phoenix are putting themselves in better positions every hill of this map. As Chicago gets control of P3, and watching the angles, getting a little bit of time here, but we're just going to see Phoenix do a 2 mid, 2 back spawn, and try to collapse on hill to get some time on this P3.
Yeah, look at that. All 4 dead there from Chicago. That is not what you're going to want to have happen here as we tick on over to the second half of this P3. I mean, still pretty contested. They're trying to get a little bit of motion here on the map. Going to try to funnel through middle, but they're going to funnel right into Brandon. Brandon picking up a 3-piece with that nade that they got earlier over on that P2 side. Yeah, Brandon looking super solid in this point right now. Over 2 minutes a hill. Yeah, over 2 minutes a hill, too. They got the slaying numbers and the objective numbers on a 4 streak. Has streaks, though, already, so they're going to have to use them here pretty soon if they want to earn a second one.
Yeah, I honestly think it might just be better for him to keep his gunny up with how hot it is right now. 26 kills, leading the lobby pretty convincingly. Besides Red Star, him and Red Star are the only people above 20. And right now, it's just Phoenix having complete control. 2 kills come in from the front from Chicago, 3 from the front. They get Hill, but RS is still here in the back. He gets 1, takes 1 out with him. Sullivan grabs 1 as well. And it's kind of just very contest heavy with nobody really getting any actual good fight.
Yeah, there were some wild exchanges there, but I feel like, again, Phoenix is just doing such a good job in the slaying department. Everybody negative over there on Chicago. You even have Ice Spot over double negative now with only 15 seconds of time. And as I swap on over to them, the trend keeps going on, right? I don't feel like Chicago's getting any presence on this map. I feel like the speed's not there from them. Braid with a nice little kill, though, on the P3 side. Looking to get control of this P1. New set of rotations here. Maybe some new life breathing into the Chicago squad. But as I say that, they start to fall apart.
Yeah, it's just when Brandon swings somebody this map, it's almost a guaranteed kill. As I say that, Braid gets one. Looking at somebody on hill, does he leave this guy first up? He doesn't get shot in his side, and that's 3 down for Chicago. With Phoenix just getting free P1 time, they're looking to end it with only 5 seconds left. There's really no contest from Chicago. They run from red, get a 2-for-2 trade, keep it white. RS looking to get the final kill to kind of wrap up this map, and he doesn't get it.
That's not over yet. I mean, it's going to be a massive mountain to climb, right, if you're Chicago. But I would rather play a couple of hills good to extend this time, maybe frustrate the guns a little bit here on Phoenix. If you're going to lose the map anyway, you know, just use this time to get those guns hot. Just keep playing like you're going to win, and you never know. You might be able to turn it around. I mean, it would be a monumental comeback. I mean, 248 to 80 to start it out, but a couple of kills fall their way. Game's not over yet. They're past the 100-point mark, so they cannot say they've been 100 club.
As long as they get some momentum here at the end of this game to push them into the map 2, if you finish it better than you started it, it's going to make it a lot easier to get touch in that map 2, and that's kind of what you're playing for right now. As I say that, the kill feed just was red for a second, now it's split. We still see Chicago with control P2, with Phoenix spotting front. Braid gets damage into 1. The trade comes in, there's 2 front. 3 down from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see perfect COD here?
I mean, that would be ideal, man. I would love to watch the perfect COD right here. And then Blurry is hitting a crazy wrap. Gonna get a kill with the knife. The streak's gonna come in. They're gonna be undercover, but I don't think anyone's gonna be here for these 2 seconds for it to tick over. The streak comes through. Nothing's gonna happen. But looked a lot better there in that second half. I don't know if Phoenix just kind of were okay with giving some time up, but guns started to get hot there from Chicago, so not all negative things to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a more respectable score than what we thought it was going to be when it was like 248 to, what was it, 90?
Yeah.
80 something. And so, I mean, it allows you to take some momentum into that match and hopefully kind of be like, okay, we have this, we're bringing it back. Just keep the vibes up, but it's looking like a Phoenix masterclass just because hybrid 33 and 21 with 2.5 minutes on hill.
Yeah, that was very big map from them. They did such a good job getting kills and time. But yeah, I mean, at the beginning it would have been a pretty crazy scoreline. At least like they weren't able to pad their stats. Everyone on Chicago did go negative, but not as much as it was towards that first half. That last rotation, I mean, that P1 and the P2 was pretty smooth. If they would have chained that together, maybe another time in that map, I think that map would have been a lot closer because they got a lot of time on both of those sections. So, yeah, I mean, just kind of unfortunate start there for Chicago. Guns came out a little bit cold. They ended up heating up a little bit, so let's see if they get hot during the raid. I mean, I think Search and Destroy is an easier game mode to beat better teams on because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that can just happen that immediately loses you the round, whether it could be like a team nade. I don't know. I feel like the funky stuff happens in Search.
Yeah, I mean, if we see a team take a map, it's normally the Search. In all the maps that have gone 4 maps, we normally see domination from map 1 from a certain team, let's just say in this case Phoenix, but in other series, the team that lost the hard point wins the Search. And so, just kind of knowing that, also it being a raid Search, Raid's been around for years. Everybody knows how to play Raid, so it's not like somebody has some cheese spot that can make it to where they could easily see you. It's, you know the setups, you know the spots, you know what you need to look at, and it kind of evens the playing field here for Chicago a little bit just because Phoenix isn't going to have better setups just because they've been playing the maps more together. It's, hey, these are where people normally sit, make sure we're covering it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super classic map. It's been around what feels like the beginning of time now. Yeah, it's a pretty straight up map too. I mean, I feel both sides of the map are playable from offense. Middle's pretty easy to kind of bang your way out through. So I think this is like, as far as search and destroy goes, I mean, there's arguments there for hardpoint. But as far as search goes, I feel like this is one of like all-time balanced maps for search and destroy when it comes to offense defense. I don't feel like it's super heavy favored on defense like some of these maps are. It really just comes down to coordination and how fast you decide to plant, how slow. I mean, it's also one of those maps too where I feel like when you're down a body, it's not the end of the world because coordination really can get you out of the slump on this map.
Yeah, you just catch two people rapid through water steps a little bit too fast, so you just have two guns mid playing together, and it's always going to go for the people holding their guns up.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoy it. I hope it doesn't leave the rotation. I fear that Meltdown will take its place, just because the only use for this map in this game is search and destroy, and those tend to be the maps that kind of disappear.
Well, I definitely think it should be Colossus that leads the map pool over Meltdown. I think we should keep Raid in. Raid's a great map, a classic. Always good moments, always good content on some Raid search and destroy.
Yeah. Would you rather get rid of Colossus search or Scar search?
Colossus.
Interesting. Okay.
Scar is one of those maps where you kind of just have to play like flying confidence, hit your shots to get a bomb site control, because either you're flying red and chowing it to make sure you get control of it, or you're flying to plane heading and trying to gun somebody from top green or mid cut. And so it's very much just one of those on offense. You can't play slow. You have to either fully commit to a site or fully commit to lanes and just playing a pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I would be more of a fan if they just added maps, not taking any away. I feel like it would be really cool to have like an expanded map pool. Or like, honestly, because they've been dropping maps fast in this game. If they just keep dropping maps, maybe seeing a completely different map set from first half of the season, the second half would kind of be cool too. I think that would be interesting.
I definitely think it's one of those things where they shouldn't just like oversaturate the maps that are in this game. And so maybe like back off on like releasing so many remakes of maps, because it's kind of why Raid is, some people consider it like overplayed just because like it's been in so many games.
I feel conflicted about this, right? I feel like when we listen to, I don't know if some of you guys listen to podcasts involving competitive COD, but when we listen to either players or former talent talk about maps, every year we go, all right, give us 3 or 4 maps that are in COD every year. Okay, well now we've gotten Raid, and it's been in COD a lot, and now we're going, okay, we're sick of Raid, so stop remaking maps. Okay, where is that balance? Where do we compare ourselves with like Counter-Strike, right? Which is going to have some of the same maps for 20 years that are just a staple that get kind of rotated in and out. What's the balancing point, right? If you're Activision, how many remakes do you want versus how many remakes like are you going to leave out when you're talking about competitive COD? Because I feel like we're asking for 2 different things now.
I just feel like they should make it to where they have like alternating. So like, let's just say for like Standoff and Raid, don't have them both come out in the same game. One year give us Raid, one year give us Standoff, the next year give us Raid, and like alter the maps that you remake. Don't always remake the same maps, because there's plenty of good competitive maps from a bunch of different games. Like, give me London Docks from World War II.
That would be gas.
Give me Arden's Forest from World War II. That would work so well.
Forest? I don't know.
Log cabin heavy? That would go hard in 2026.
I don't know, man. That's grayscale. Grayscale the map, and then those caves, dude, where...
Just give it a little bit of color. Give it a little bit of pop.
Yeah, I've also been seeing a lot of comparisons online from like Meltdown from this and Meltdown from BO2. And I think what I've noticed about games and the styling of games, I feel like the more real it looks, the worse it looks. Like I feel like games used to have like an old film filter on it. You know how like sometimes when you watch like a moody movie, if there's like a completely like cover, I feel like that's gone away, and we've just approached just like realistic skybox. And I kind of want to go back to those movie filters, man. Kind of make it more like a cartoon.
Yeah, it makes it not feel so real sometimes. Like it's one of those things where the graphics, I don't know. I kind of like the BO2 style graphics. It was very nostalgic. And it might just be because I'm just being nostalgic, but give me a game with those graphics.
Yeah, please.
Updated movement though.
Yes, updated movement. I really like the movement this year. I think this year is a pretty fun experience so far.
What's not a fun experience is Chicago having to look to see that RS is sniping, and as they're worried about the sniper, Phoenix just gets 3 down, 4 down. Phoenix, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Hey, if you win the race while sprinting, yeah. If you win the race sprinting, that's fine too. Just get it done and dusted. Maybe somebody hasn't eaten dinner yet or just really has to go to the bathroom. But Phoenix running down that first round. They win the first offense. Let's see if they can win the defense. RS with the sniper out. We'll see if they continue to hold that.
Yeah, the sniper didn't even make that big of a difference last round. It was just Sullivan sprinting at Chicago saying, I'm better than you and getting 3. If you're Chicago, you can't let that happen again this map.
Yeah, you can't let that happen. RS going to be pushing over and looking over towards mid, but it is a pretty big bang out over here. Sullivan going to be left alive on that side of the map. RS now is going to have to clutch a 1v3. Bomb's not down yet. Oh, that would have been a big chance. Sees the bomb player laying down. You know where bomb is down at. You do have to shoot and move, though. RS, you're going to get out of the way. Going to be chilling on pool steps. Looking over towards the map. Expects the player kitchen. Just gets kind of timed there. Who's that number 5 arrow? That's going to be Brad that comes up behind him. The split pinch. The gun pickup. Oh! I really like the decision there. Pick up the gun. Honestly, if you just turn around and just get the right timing, that could have easily been a clutch.
Yeah, it's so hard to read that he would be coming from water steps, though, because you never see the first guy cross. You only ever see the second one coming from kitchen. And it's just an unfortunate COD timing that leads to Braid just being able to shoot him in the back and win the round.
Yeah, that was some wild potential. But RS 2-1 with the sniper rifle. We're gonna stay on board with them. It was a really fast bang out on the offense for the first round for Phoenix. Let's see if they can do it again on the second. They're going to look to hit mid, maybe get some info. RS with the sniper out. Almost got a collat. Gonna get the nice little quick scope on Braid on the second shot. First shot just barely missing. Oh, who was that shoulder challenge? You're crazy. That's iSpot. iSpot left in a 1v4. Not able to get anything done.
Yeah, I just think when you see the sniper kitchen, you just can't keep challenging. You're lucky that that first shot didn't end in a collat. So I think you just have to spread map there and not just allow them to make you play in kitchen because you don't know how long it would take them to wrap and you've already been there for so long.
Yeah, that was wild, man. If that first shot's connect, that could have easily been a 2v4 off the rip. But it was still even with that shot missing, still ended up being a 1v4. I mean, we're going to just stick here with RS, right, until they die again with the sniper rifle. I don't believe anybody has pulled it out on Chicago just yet. Phoenix up 2-1 in the search and destroy. iSpot is going to have that. This is going to be your first engagement most likely. Did these players see each other? They did. Buckshot, though, in the background is going to get first blood. Oh!
Larry turned on him. That would have been a clip for sure. But as we see, iSpot gets one. Do they read? They read back basketball. They get full clearance, 1v3 for hybrid.
And you know,
he sees one pillars. Does he read that they just bang out mid, though?
I don't think he reads that they bang up mid. I really like that arrow set up here from Chicago. Going to wrap that back. I really like that. They realized what side of the map they got the kills on and where they had control of, and they pulled that bomb immediately back over to the pool side. Yeah, I liked it. That looked pretty good. I'm satisfied with that round there from Chicago.
Yeah, it was a very good play call. Whoever just made the call to go B, it was exactly what you needed to do because you shouldn't have given any time for hybrid to get any kills or any movement, and it's just a plant and setup, and it works for Chicago to tie up 2-2.
Yeah, Chicago looking decent, but we talked about it before this map even started. I think this is going to be their chance to get a map. I feel like they looked pretty shaky, especially at the beginning of that map 1, but maybe they did turn up a little bit and they're starting to shoot.
Yeah, it's just maybe first time playing in a league match with this team, kind of have to get the jitters out. But as we see, Chicago gets a 2-for-1. They have full control of B here, pushing up. Clay just gets out pulled though.
Ooh.
RS makes it a 2v2. RS and Clay versus Braid and iSpot. It looks like they're going to be wrapping it either back mid or A.
Yep.
And Chicago doesn't read it. They're just overplaying B. They're maybe staying there a little too long, allowing Phoenix to get full rotation over here to A without any contest.
Yeah, no, that was a really good wrap there from Phoenix. I would like to see Chicago maybe be a little bit more active on the map. Maybe they're kind of scared of the guns right now from Phoenix, but Phoenix going to do a really good job. That's going to be Clay getting the bomb down over on the A side. iSpot, though, right above them, not able to see them in time. Gets timed a little bit. Braid's going to be chilling in the middle of the map. RS. Top art. Playing pretty jittery, looking up and down. Both these players going to be right next to each other. And who was that? That was going to be Braid. Braid, I didn't realize had the sniper rifle. Going to fly in, not get the second kill. 1v1. Big chance here for both of these players. On Art to clutch the round. iSpot, going to ice up. Not going to get the kill right away. Maybe not. Oh, no. RS just couldn't get through the window. Too tall for that. Holy moly, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think he got a weird, awkward wall bounce there, and it just made him not be able to get in. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a big round, though, I would say, for Chicago. I feel like if Chicago loses that round, I don't know. I feel like that maybe that would have been the moment where it started to get away from them. But, I mean, they're looking good in the search and destroy. I would like to see a little bit faster decision-making, but that's a critique from a team that is currently sitting in the lead. So maybe I don't know anything.
Yeah. Whatever they're doing, it's working. Blurry at 1 and 5, kind of just hiding some hard pacing on this map. We can see if he can try to pick it up as they decide to hit B here. Blurry goes for a pull, but there's a player there just waiting for him. It's number 2, Clay, just playing outer Tiki, waiting for this push. Blurry just gets a great timing.
Ooh.
Oh, that was close, but that opens up B for Chicago.
That was a very big gunfight and first blood. Going to be hiding in the Tiki area. The player falls mid. That's going to be Buckshot. Braid picking up a nice kill. Blurry being annoying, staying alive on Tiki. Going to allow for teammates to get some help. Going to pick up a second. I like that play a lot. Now it's a 1v2 here for Sullivan. Sullivan looking to pick up the first kill in a 1v1. Technically a 1v3, right? It would be.
Yeah.
They clutch it up. Yeah, but that's going to be too little too late. Yeah. Yeah, if you act like you're going to clutch, you have to make those kills fast. You got to get worked up on the map. Chicago, now up 2 rounds.
Yeah, and Sullivan, he rips that guy from top bedroom, but as fast as he ripped him, I was just like, okay, he's going to try to play for this bottom kill here because he has to at least jiggle peek a few more times for, like, time. And he just wraps through Tiki and misses his timing, and it cost him the round.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just tough timing, right? I mean, yeah, it's just tough timing. And if you're Sullivan, you have a chance to clutch. It's time management, right? I swear a lot of these people, when they play S&D, I'm convinced that they're late for work every day because they will run out that clock. They're late for the bus. Then they can't catch the Uber in time because it's been waiting outside for too long. And then they don't get the bomb defused because they wait too long.
Yeah, but as we see, Hybrid opens up. Got it. Pushes out A. We're going to see a wrap back to A. Chicago's pushing through Art and driveway. Phoenix sees it a little bit. They have info now as Blurry kills RS. It's going to be Phoenix Laundry side.
Oh, stuck him.
Art stuck one. It's a 2v1. 35 seconds to defuse. And they know he's Art. They're just going to pinch him. He gets one. Hybrid doesn't turn around.
Oh!
Window and cannot clutch up. And it's going to be a 5-2 lead for Chicago.
I really like that clutch play. Obviously, they get the stick. That's going to help a lot. But in that 2v3 situation, a lot of info was giving. They threw a stun. They got the kill off the stun. They threw a nade. They got the kill off the nade. And then they were really, really comfortable trading up in that top laundry area. Just a simple one-on-one trade allows you to secure that round, gets the bomb defuse, and now you're on match point, looking to tie the series 1-1. Chicago looking pretty proficient in the S&D.
Yeah, Braid kind of just turned it around after a tough showing, 7-4, almost double positive with a 3-round lead. He's looking to snipe Laundry.
Oh.
It's a 2-2 setup. Buckshot gets the first one outer, and he's just going to push this guy out Laundry.
Another nade kill. I feel like so many nade kills have happened in this game. And Braid not even going to have to use... Yeah, not even going to have to use a sniper at all. Going to take the S&D pretty convincingly. 6-2 Chicago Unity. Putting up a big fight back in that S&D.
Yeah, that map makes this series a lot more interesting. After the first match, we wouldn't have seen Chicago come out and win this dominantly. Chicago just needs to look to try to win one respawn on the next two to make it to a map 5, where they should be pretty confident after this showing.
Yeah, with their organization, I mean, you can totally expect a Neslo here, right? With the overload, you do have to have a lot of communication on where to run that EMP device. And if their communication and their execution's on point to the S&D, I can even say being even, maybe possibly losing out on Slays, I could still see them with coordination winning this map.
I mean, we've seen it multiple times in the league already. There was a 3-2 lead, and the team that was leading, every player was negative. And so how do these teams keep doing it? It's definitely one of those things where Chicago could come out maybe not as hot as they need to, lose a few gunfights, but then they clutch up for the ones to stop the detonation, and then they just turn it into a cap.
Yeah, I would love to see how they work it out. There is going to be a little bit of turmoil in the back of their mind, though, because they already have played a respawn on Den. So I think a lot of this next map will just be not letting that get to you, right? It's a new map in your head. It plays different than it does in Hardpoint, but sometimes you see a lot of teams steamrolling on one map. I mean, we saw a series the other night that was 3 Den, 2 Scar, and there was a team that just won all the Den.
It's a Den team.
Yeah, it's just a Den team. It happens, right? So I do like how we see quite a bit of variety here in this series, but this could definitely very well be a repeat of map 1 with it being Den.
Yeah, I want to see Chicago come out here and no team has really done it before, but it's even to both sides. Whatever team caps first, if you have a convincing cap, don't send all 4 to the capture zone. Send 2 with the EMP carrier and have one person wrap back to wrap for the overextension. A lot of people, especially on Den Overload, counter caps and overextensions are so common. It's almost guaranteed that the first cap that goes in, the next one's going to spawn across the map, and if the team plays it right, they just got capped on, it's a 20-second counter cap, and then the game's tied again.
Yeah, I mean, it can be no time at all for the counter caps. You're going to see a lot of the counter caps happening on that jump side. That jump side of the map. That second spawn, right, on the rotation, you can just... There's no gap. There's no gap between P1 on that side. So it's a full commit if you're on that side of the map.
Yeah, a lot of the times we see teams trying to take routes and then they just get wrapped on super fast, and then next thing they know they're out of the play because they have to wrap all the way through mid, and it just wastes so much time.
Yeah, we'll see who's better at time management and splitting the map. I think we're going to be keeping host, but we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I mean, the map 1 looked on the score sheet. It looks a little bit closer than what I feel like it actually was. But same thing with the map 2. You know, it doesn't look close at all. So both these teams, I think, taking convincing games. So we'll see who has the momentum here in map number 3. Go ahead and get loaded now and make sure these banners are on the right side. I don't believe they swap teams. Sometimes they do it right at the very end just to trick me. They do it just for me.
They're just like, those graphics don't have to be right.
They never have to be right. But yeah, get loaded into the den still. Pretty map.
I mean, it's not a bad map to watch. It is one of those very traditional 3-lane maps with, I mean, over mid you have the higher elevation through windows, but as we go into this map number 3, we're going to be on board with Blurry of Chicago, as they look to get P1 control. We see a fight towards P3 as well. And it just goes 3 down for Chicago, looking to push it up. Dojo, number 2, going to be a huge kill, gets the kill, and it's going to be a cap. They're just... Phoenix doesn't know what to do. They're just... Chicago is in their mouth, punching them in the face, telling them, hey, we're here for this series. You're going to have to earn it.
Yeah, and I kind of like what has happened here with all of the trades that happened on that first cap. You see a bigger presence for Chicago on this second rotation side. So, I mean, good plays there by them. Honestly, sometimes dying goes in your favor, especially if you still get that cap, because you're at least resetting your spawn back to kind of where you want it to be. You don't have to play all the way through or all the way back. Obviously, you never want to give up map control. If you can stay alive and do it, that's ideal. But as we say that, Clay Corrupt going to opt to just try to bang this out. Going to get a little bit of help from teammates. You have players stacked over on this A site. That kill feed is red, 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 and so is the scoreline. They tie it up 1-1. There we go.
That's a huge play. They just were decisive, pushed out backstairs, got all the kills, and just ran it in. But Chicago, they have control here. It's a 2-for-2 trade, and Phoenix is pushing through Dojo. Ira gets one. He gets killed by the bomb carrier, and there's not that big of a presence here as we see 3 go down from Chicago. Phoenix kind of level out and get the EMP hopefully out of their spawn, looking to wrap it through.
Yeah, this would be an interesting wrap. I'm excited to see how these arrows play a little bit forward on the map. Brandon Hybrid getting a lot of big kills. RS, though, going to run in trouble from behind. Those players are going to have to double back to try to pick up these kills. Forgot about them. Blurry going to get taken out as well. Who is this? Brandon Hybrid with the EMP. Also the forward-facing person on the map. Clay Corrupt, though, needs to get moved up. Going to call out that the player is there and still alive. Is this an opportunity to cap? I think so. Sullivan is going to run that in just before they fall.
Yeah, and Phoenix is lucky. 2 players die off.
Lars is still alive here?
Yeah, they just haven't killed him yet, and they just keep. They don't even know.
Oh
what to do.
no!
He gets 2. That's gonna be a free wrap through B if the guy can get this kill top window.
Oh no! And they didn't get the kill top window. Oh no! 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 No!
Number 8 needs to read the.
No way, dude! Oh no! It doesn't get the cap. I think RS might have put a bullet in. Yeah. Oh no! RS doing all the work, but then giving it up at the end with the team kill.
Yeah, Chicago just takes this through A for 3. They're playing a little slow, expecting them to be here off the respawn, but Phoenix went mid. You now waited too long, and Phoenix just gets a free setup as we see the kill feed going back and forth between Chicago and Phoenix, with Phoenix getting a little bit more control here, stops the push, and just stalling.
Yeah, iSpot's got to stay alive here, working around the teammates. I like this play a lot. Get the kill. Yep. Get the info. You got to bang it out. You got to go now. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Tie up the score 2-2. Clay Corrupt picking up a nice 3-piece on a 3 streak. Also double positive with a capture. Oh!
As we just see Clay just gunning. As it's 3 down for Phoenix, Chicago's going to be able to take this bomb and be able to get pushed up B as we see
big
Phoenix spawning A.
That was a big kill there. Yeah, iSpot and Buckshot going to be your forward-facing players here. Going to be your O-line. iSpot, but as I say that, Braid is going to sneak in, pumps up those Nike Airs, and just jumps up into the point. 3-2 now for Chicago. Chicago not necessarily looking the best in the slang, but we said it. I think they're better decision makers maybe when it comes to these mobile objectives.
Yeah, it seems like the gameplay for Chicago is more based off of the objective and trying to get scores, while Phoenix is looking a little bit more like just trying to get kills and opening up lanes and leaving a lot of empty kills on the map.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have meaning and purpose when you're pushing up on the map, especially on Overload. You do not want to give up possession for no reason. iSpot with a nice nade there on RS. Going to get pushed up. iSpot has been doing a pretty good job slaying, but definitely your route runner. And who is this? Clay Corrupt. Going to be in the back of the map. Going to drop that bomb. Let's see if Braid picks it up to extend the time. Nope. Going to let it tick over to the half. Not going to give the enemy team a chance. What do you want to see in the second half from Phoenix? How are they going to turn this around?
I want to see them stop chelling one-on-one. There's a lot of times where they're getting just outran at. And so if you're going to run up the map, you have to at least do it with somebody else. Because if you're just running into 2 people as a solo, you're going to be putting your team at a man disadvantage every time you try to go for
Yeah, that pistol is saucy there from Clay Corrupt. Going to need to continue the sauce cooking on that, man. I just feel like Chicago had a lot better time getting bodies forward on the map. And I feel like the only time we really saw anyone forward on the map from Phoenix was RS over on that dojo side. They were able to get one cap off of it. Not the second. Honestly, it probably should be 3-3. But, hey, you'll take it.
Yeah, there's just a lot of kills going the way of Chicago that are defensive and then immediately wrapping, to where Phoenix is getting kills and then still waiting. As we see,
Oh, that's the cap.
excuse me. Yeah, Phoenix is just running.
Oh!
Gets one. It's a
Our
3-3 tie.
RS with the cap. Clay Corrupt picking up another two-piece, 24 and 11. Now on a 4 streak. We're going to stay on board with them as they're trying to tie up the spawn. But Brandon's basically, should have a free cap here. They're going to go up. I mean, maybe they were just playing worse on that other side of the map, because right now they're looking really, really good on this side. A lot of control.
Yeah, they're just getting into more favorable positions. Playing through that B side is a lot easier than you just run through red. A kind of tunnels you in and makes you have to chow a few headies. As we see, that's what Phoenix is going to try to do right now, though. It'll be interesting to see if we see a mid-wrap, or if they're just going to bang out Dojo and see if they can get control here. If we see a 1-for-1, it's just back and forth. Nobody truly getting control of Dojo yet.
Yeah, Sullivan doing a really good job playing their life on a 4 streak now, getting their guns hot. Started off a little bit negative. Does have one overload, but look how they're splitting the objective on this map. 4 caps, 4 players have capped. So that's a really nice stat line that you like to see. And is this, maybe would have had the timing? I don't know. But they're going to opt to stay alive in red. Going to get 1 kill. That's going to be actually an assist for RS. RS picking up a kill, finally falling. And Sullivan is playing around the map, doing some juking. Who's this? Clay Corrupt. Going to have to find a big 1 or 2 piece here. They don't know they're there. Now he does. That gun lights up with the muzzle flash. And Clay Corrupt falls in all the smoke.
Yeah, we're going to see a wrap through Dojo here. This is what's preferable when bomb gets dropped on the side that Chicago's on right now. It's very hard to push through top roofs because there's so many headies through P2, and then you don't have to fight through back garage. But we see Icebot just getting pushed up, looking to try to find a nade kill. Maybe cooks it a little too long. It's a 2-2 presence from Chicago as we see number 6 trying to wrap, and Chicago is taking a little bit too much time, letting Phoenix collapse, and Phoenix is winning all the gunfights.
Yeah, Phoenix, I think this is the slaying power that we saw from that map number 1. They're just out slaying them, and right now that seems to be enough to maintain this lead. Blurry picking up 2, Icebox picking up 1 on Clay. And Clay looks to be your slay leader right now. So that is going to be a big pickup on the map. You want to make sure that they're kind of just in death screen for as much time as possible. Blurry trying to get a finesse kill with the pistol. Not able to do so. Icebot going to kind of screw themselves over by picking up that device. Ended up putting away their Dravik for the pistol. And the pistol is just okay, you know, like we've seen some pretty crazy pistols in competitive COD over the last few years, but I feel like this is the first time where our pistol kind of barely does the job.
Yeah, it does what it actually should do. You need to get a 1-tap kill after you run out of ammo, it does it, but you definitely have to hit your shots and shoot straight if you're trying to get down to somebody at range, even some close range gunfights sometimes.
Oh.
But Chicago looking to get pushed up on B, but immediately shut down by Phoenix. Buckshot looking for 1, but gets traded out by Hybrid, and we might see a device reset here.
Yeah, I think we might see a device reset. I feel like a big difference for me between Chicago and Phoenix POVs is how often they have their gun up ready for the fight. I feel like there's so many times where some of these Chicago players just don't have their gun up ready to go in the gunfight, and I feel like they just kind of run into fire. So I'd like to see a little bit better timing on that, knowing how far your slide ends, when to put away your pistol. Clay Corrupt picking up another 2, 29 and 21. Right behind that, Brandon going to be 28 and 20. So everyone kind of splitting the love up here. Again, look at the dominance there in the objective. Everybody splitting it up evenly, everybody doing their job. And right now Braid is going to have to try to get in front of this ball player. They're going to opt to hit it possibly towards couches. They're going to sneak it on over. This is a really big hit. They have to hit it fast. Braid needs to get a kill. Oh, they're just going to get past the door. That's 2 for iSpot. Braid with a lot of assists. Sullivan picking up a kill as well.
Oh,
Oh,
gets there
no.
too fast.
Yeah. Phoenix gets there too fast. They didn't have actual control of that spawn, and they took it, I believe, the hard route. But they almost had it, man. They almost had them on their toes. Maybe if a couple of Phoenix players would have get picked up when they rotated across that big door, it might have happened. But they just got there a little too late, and Phoenix just right there on the spawn.
Yeah, Phoenix just, the slaying finally caught up to the game. You're slaying as much as you were as Phoenix. It's almost inevitable that you're going to win the game, as we see most of Phoenix, besides Sullivan going -1, everybody else on Phoenix is positive, with Clay Corrupt dropping 31 kills, 23 non-traded. He only got traded 8 times.
Yeah, that's insane. Only getting traded 8 times. You got to start calling that player out. When a player starts playing hot, don't be afraid to like really put some emphasis on that player and trying to track them down. But again, the love was kind of shed there, I think, even from the slaying perspective. Clay Corrupt was obviously the slay leader, but not by too much. Brandon Hybrid also did a really good job on the map. And again, all 4 players there scoring on the overload device. It was fun to watch, man. I think they played that really well. I think they had a rough first half, but that second half was nice.
Yeah, the adjustments, that little time in between, I don't know what was said in the Phoenix camp, but it definitely was something that made them adjust, realize that if we get kills, we have to get pushed up. If we don't have device, we at least have to get map control and pressure. We can't just get kills and stay like in our same area.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of composure there from that squad. But now we're going over to a hard point. And if you're Chicago, you got to be a little nervous, right? I mean, you played that first den, and it was kind of a slam. I wouldn't say the overload was a slam on the respawn. I feel like there was a couple of moments where Chicago actually like really had a moment to tie it up. But I also, on the other hand, feel like Phoenix could have scored 1 or 2 more, maybe a couple of communication errors. But I would be nervous, man, going into this hard point.
Yeah, Chicago just needs to come out and play to their pacing. They don't need to try to get fancy with it to straight counter the other team. They just need to go out and do what they know. Let their players play comfortable, get in a groove, because Scar is one of those maps where if it snowballs bad, because it is so easy for the last 20 seconds, especially on P4 and P5, to just push out a little bit too far on mid-map, get a wave of kills, and then they're spawning back blue on P4 with 10 seconds left, and you get rotation to P5, and it's a chain.
Yeah, I know. The chains, man. You got to look out for them, especially, I would say that P3, P4, P5. I mean, those 3 can just chain together so crazy. And with how sticky the spawns are on that green side of the map, you got to be hyper aware, right? You got to be hyper aware with a lot of good communication, especially if you're trying to control that green side. As soon as that player steps away from where that little square is, kind of next to that porch where everybody seems to spawn, you got to let your team know and have somebody picking that up, preferably the guy top green.
Yeah. Rotations and setups are going to be huge for this map, though, just because a lot of hills are hard to break. P4 is hard to break if you have ARs in really good spots and not having to worry about the other spots that they're not watching. And then P5 is also one of those hills where if you get a little bit of mid-map control, but you have somebody back green anchoring, you could spawn them deep blue, and it takes them 10-15 seconds to even be relevant in the play again.
Yeah, I mean, you could spawn so deep, right? Like, you can spawn all the way out in Narnia, and you got to find your way through the wardrobe. But we're going to get rolling into this map number 4. I mean, who are you looking at right now? Who you wanting to turn up?
So for Chicago, I want to see Blurry. Blurry has had a lot of good flashes in these first 3 maps, but he just plays a little bit inconsistent, and he needs to rely on his team some more to be able to get the trades that he can't get where he dies because he pushes a little too far. There's 1 or 2 situations where if he would have just slowed down and played with the pace of his team, there would have been a 2-piece in favor to Chicago instead of a 2-1 trade.
Go ahead and get these banners swapped on over. Map number 4, a hard point on Scar. We're rolling, we're alive, we're here, baby.
Blurry tries to push into mid-market, but gets taken down, and we see a 2-2 trade. With Phoenix really the only team getting any time on this hill as we see Chicago hop on it. Blurry is going to be 0-1, but soaking the hill time for a little bit. Braid picking up mid-cut to Red in the kill feed for majority of the last 20 or so seconds.
Yeah, I feel like on this map, you can get a surprising amount of time on this P1. It can be held pretty well by your ARs, especially if they have some good sights across the top of the map. But this will get split somewhat evenly. You have Blurry, the person that you were wanting to look out for, falling at top. P2 getting ready for that rotation. Sullivan getting picked up. Nice awareness there by iSpot. Know that player could possibly be laying down, starting putting a couple of shots to stress that player out through the wall, through that little ledge. Does just exactly that. The player pops up and they play whack-a-mole. Yeah, Sullivan just absolutely getting caught off guard, I think, there by those wall bangs there.
iSpot's starting out 5-2. It's what Chicago's honestly needed from the first map. There wasn't that heavy slate power, but with iSpot kind of going off, we see just more even trades, a lot more white time, and Chicago getting the last little bit of the scrap time. Looking for Braid, tries to turn and burn on the guy top blue, but doesn't do it. Hybrid gets a two-piece. Looking for the rotation to move. We see Chicago setting up early with Phoenix electing to get the last bit of that scrap time. Going to just tie the game up going into P3.
Yeah, iSpot trying to be on that plane heady. However, it's going to be Sullivan going to be popping up behind him in that top green window. Time now going on over to Phoenix. Phoenix doing a decent job on the map so far and getting the early set on the rotation. However, it's the staying alive part that matters the most, and Chicago seems to be breaking in just now, and Chicago is going to light up that kill feed. Icebox is going to be soaking up that time, and they're looking to take a lead here on the P3, and they already somewhat have P4 side. I mean, depending on where this arrow spawns, yeah, Braid spawns on that P4 side. Still almost 30 seconds left, though. You've got to fight maybe one more time for this hill time. Oh, no. Yeah, look at the spawns, though. The spawns are bad here. Really, really bad here for Chicago. They're going to spawn all the way out. Split spawns kind of happen. Sullivan is going to spawn on P4. And look at all those blue arrows just infesting that. And oh no, Clicker up, spawning out. I mean, if Chicago play this really well and they play this fast, they can flip these spawns really easy.
Yeah, Chicago just got in through plain side, and they don't see Clay spawning behind. He gets a huge two-piece, solidifies spawns for Phoenix. But they have to deal with this player top blue, and Clay Corrupt does just that. Buckshot tried to hit the back, but there's just too many players back here. It's a 3-for-1 trade. Chicago trying to get control, and Braid will finally fight in through the back and give Chicago time on this hill.
Yeah, they'll need the rest of this time to really keep themselves in it, maintain a little bit of a lead. Buckshot, though, going to be your last alive on the point. Going to be contested. Phoenix having a hard time controlling that whole point. Who is this going to be? Clay Corrupt, of course, already rotated towards the side. Super sneaky on the porch. Oh no, oh no. Okay, I thought he was going to turn in there to a legend moment.
Yeah, I thought I was looking at the next Twitter clip for the page.
Yeah.
But as we see, Clay Corrupt trying to find this kill in the back to solidify spawns for Phoenix, but Chicago just play it really well, gets 3 kills. The last one's on hill for Phoenix, and they're just banging it out from front and getting the kills and getting the first early initial time.
Yeah, Phoenix should be getting these spawns now. Chicago gonna have a big fight on their hands on this front green, and look at that kill feed, man. All for Phoenix. Phoenix doing a great job on the map controlling this P5. I'm pretty sure the rest of that time is gonna go on over to them. It already kind of looks like Chicago's given up on that time. Brandon picking up a nice two-piece. Buckshot trying to make something happen on the mat. Gets a two-piece of their own. Gonna spot this player, maybe? Yep. Nice. Picks up a nice kill there. They're gonna be able to get the rest of the scrap. Get themselves within range of taking the lead here on this P1. If they can just maintain and hold They have these green spawns, which can be pretty fun to play on. For this P1, Blurry. Oh, no, just kind of bad timing on that first kill. Able to get the second though, so that's nice.
Yeah, Blurry is sitting at 6-16. If Chicago's looking to make a run and trying to bring this map back, they need Blurry to start playing some hills, playing a little bit more hill. Most time on Chicago is 38 seconds. When you have a player on Phoenix with over a minute and just still soaking, finally gets taken off the hill, and Chicago getting some time back, looking to maybe close this gap a little bit with Phoenix spawning back green. It's going to seem like a breakdown on this P1. It's down into P2. Chicago finally getting a little bit of kills, but
yeah, Buckshot getting taken there was really big. Had a really good opportunity there to kind of get a little bit of control over on those green spawns. I know a lot of people prefer these blue spawns. You do spawn a little bit closer on this blue side. So maybe this is looking Chicago favored, especially if you get a kill up top here. Ooh, the Eagle Chow. I think that was a little bit of Eagle Chow. I don't know if that player was weak. Maybe there was a bad call out.
yeah, I mean, people lie plenty of times saying people are one shot. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a faded one shot call there.
The most faded one shot ever. He's one shot.
Yeah, you put one shot in him.
Yeah.
As we see Chicago a little bit of control on the hill. Phoenix trying to break from store side, and they're gonna get a 3 kills, control of the hill, and it looks like there's already one rotating. Number 1 Sullivan already getting through, trying to find some kills. Number 6 Buckshot trying to get there. It's gonna be a plain heady fight. Buckshot wins it, and all of a sudden Chicago have control of P3, but Phoenix is pushing from back blue, hoping to get a break in this goal.
Ooh, nice little trade of kills there. Brandon not able to pick up that last kill. It's going to be Clay Corrupt that does. RS going to be last alive towards this point. I mean, this is not done, right? I mean, if you can control the... I mean, holy moly. I've said this like 5 times. I feel like this map. If you can just control the rest of the time, you can get back into the map. I feel like Chicago needs a hold here. I feel like if they don't get the rest of this P3 time, they're going to be in some serious trouble.
Yeah, since about the second rotation, they've always been about 1 hill away. And it's just, we need to see them clutch up and get a full 60 somewhere to bring the game back. But if the hill keeps going the way of Chicago, which it's not, we're going to see a fight. Blurry gets help from Braid, and they're going to try to push out blue, and it's going to be about a 30-point lead going into P4.
I think this is Clay's second time spawning behind this team. I mean, you see that number 2 arrow working up the map. Should be able to pick up this kill here. A lot of info is going to come out for them. Clay Corrupt's going to pick up 1. Looking for a second. No, they saw them. Didn't know where they went. 2 kills fly in the back. That's a big kill. That's a big kill, killing that player there. Killing Clay Corrupt. If Sullivan can't survive here, I think that's going to be a lot of time expected to go on over towards Chicago. But they're going to get picked off 1 by 1 in this point, and now they're going to be kind of in a bad position here to get any time. I feel like they had a perfect opportunity to get set up, and now they're spawning out on top red. Holy moly, man. That was an opportunity that I felt like was just kind of squashed.
Yeah, there's just had to have been some miscommunication there because there's multiple people holding the same lanes, and it just led to them getting broke. But we're going to have to see Chicago trying to rotate for P5 to get back in this game. And they're just going to concede it, give the rest of the scrap time to Phoenix. Murray has a streak.
I don't know how that happened.
But he gets a team kill with it. And it might do more harm than good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here on the pickup. Maybe it kept those players hidden a little bit. Just enough time for these players to get kind of set up in this top green. But who was that RS flooding in the top green? Going to get picked up. I hear another streak in the air. Whose streak is that? That's gotta be a, yeah, Sullivan streak. Sullivan getting one with the streak. A lot of pressure now here on green. Buckshot playing their life pretty well, trying to see if they can get a little bit of help. But no, who was that jumped up top? Clay Corrupt, of course. Oh, no. But hey, still a close game. We round out another rotation of set. But, I mean, this scrap time is going to be big. I think scrap time, anytime there's a lot of scrap time past the 200-second mark, it gets more and more annoying.
Yeah, it just makes it to where you get that much closer when you only need 19 seconds. If you get 8 seconds on a scrap, it's going to make you just be able to win even faster on the new hill. And so if you're Chicago, you're having to wonder, how are we going to break this P1, but also how are we going to hold spawns? But spawns aren't going to matter if you can't get the kills here, but luckily they do. And it looks like an early setup for Chicago on this P1. Play trying to push through mid-cut, gets a free clearance on hill.
Yeah.
The guy score.
They just became lost in that moment there, all looking the wrong direction. Clay Corrupt, not positive right now, but just so many two pieces in the back of Chicago there from that player. I feel like they're always the one kind of spawning in a weird direction. Phoenix cleaning up that map on the P1. Scar ends the series. Phoenix 3-1.
Yeah, it's really hard there because at the end, mid-cut on P1, you have to hold mid-cut and then the opposite top of whatever side you're spawning on. And the fact that Chicago doesn't pick up cut there and just lets Play Corrupt run through it and break your setup is hopefully something they catch in VOD. But it's another one of those maps where even though not all the players on Phoenix were positive, every player on Chicago was negative, and it's really hard to win a map when that's the case.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, that was the second or third time we said that to that series. I think, honestly, Chicago was impressed me in the Search and Destroy. I feel like they played better, more so than what Phoenix played bad. So, that, I mean, there was at least that. I think that's exciting to see. But, yeah, I mean, Chicago, you have a lot of opportunities here now to go look at VOD. It's a new team. Go ahead and piece it together. I think there's some life. I think there's life. Phoenix, though, winning their first set of the league, got to be happy with a 1-1, ending the second week out.
Yeah, with Chicago, those last three maps that you played looked really close, especially the Overload and the Hardpoint. You can get a lot of good information off that because that could have easily been a 3-1 going Chicago's favor if a few more situations in the map 3 and 4 just go Chicago's way. And that just comes with time and playing with each other. There's just certain times where you just have to know what your teammate's holding naturally without a comm because you're calming so many other things. Some things get through the gaps, and the team chemistry is kind of what closes those gaps.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix, I think a lot of the times it was just slaying power. It came to who could get the two pieces, who could stay alive in the pinch, and that's exactly what they did. So good plays there by Phoenix.
Yeah, the teamwork was better outside of that S&D. There's a lot of things that, especially in the Overload, they weren't doing as good as they probably wanted to the first half, and so you could take a lot of that and apply it to just the whole game in general, because there was a lot of situations, like you said, where they probably could have had 3 or 4 more caps, but they just didn't wait for their team. The bomb carrier was trying to push too fast and by themselves, and it kind of caused them to lose a little bit of control and not be able to cap.
And that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. You never ever just want to get caught up in that momentum, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map count again and how it unfolded. Honestly, I would say pretty close overall, 4-3 in the Overload. I think definitely could have swung either way. There was definitely moments in the Hardpoint where Chicago had the momentum. Like you said, though, they were always kind of, I mean, they lost by 60, right? They lost by 1 point, the one hill. And that's just kind of what it felt like the whole series. I felt like Phoenix just got ahead early on and just played well after that.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, in the S&D, the setups were good, the clutches were nice. In that Overload, though, it's a tough one when you have a lead going into the second half and then you just watch it crumble. And there's several times there in the Overload where they could have pushed it through back radar, back P2, and it was one of those things where maybe just the timing and the pacing wasn't really where it needs to be for a team.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be getting an interview or throwing over to a mission. I'm just waiting for somebody on the back end to let me know. But just off the rip, after what's your reaction to this initial sighting that you've seen of Chicago? Do you feel like they have the opportunity to do it here?
It just really depends on how much the players on Chicago want it, because anybody can show up and shoot their gun. but it takes a little bit more to be a top end team because there's teams going over VOD, there's teams scrimming, there's teams playing S&D wagers, and so it's really just going to depend on how much time they want to put in the game together. Because I know everybody plays COD, we all play it a lot, but how often are you going to play with your team to build up chemistry? Because if the chemistry is not there, it's going to be really hard to beat a team like Las Vegas or Colorado or DC. Those teams are just very well rounded and complete to where you have to take advantage of any missteps that they have, and it's hard to do that when you're misstepping all the time as a roster.